Hello, welcome to another unofficial Strange Rant Handy Dandy Guide. Today's Dandy Guide is to making the new Doctor Who's watchable, enjoyable, and complaint-free. Step 1. It's on Earth too much. Now, the first 3 series of Doctor Who felt far too constrained to Earth. Many of the episodes were either set on Earth or near Earth. Now, don't get me wrong, I like seeing Earth, but like the old episodes, a few episodes in one place, a few episodes on a completely alien planet, and it felt much more open. It felt like an expanded universe. Now it just kind of feels like Earth and aliens are always coming from somewhere else. Now, the books were mainly set on different planets, which is quite cool. And also, the 4th series has had a lot of episodes on different planets, so I guess they kind of remedied this HDG point themselves. Step 2. Basically, all of the episodes are one-parters. There are only 3 two-parters every series of 13 episodes, while usually it used to be 6 episodes were all the same basic story, followed the same story, and they were cool because they stretched out, they created a really suspenseful, horror-y feel. Now it's just kind of like Doctor arrives, some stuff happens, and the Doctor wins. It's not as good. I mean, the 2-part episodes are usually quite epic, but imagine if they made every storyline that epic. It would be far cooler. So, my second point to you is to make the episodes 2-parters or more, mainly, because they're usually better 2-parts. And Step 3, and this is the one that really grinds my gears. Sorry, I had to use that. You give away the enemies far too quickly. Now, in the first series, you gave away, in episode 11, the next enemies were going to be the Daleks for the last 2-parter. That was just annoying. I mean, I didn't want to know there were Daleks. I'd have been far more surprised if at the end of the first episode of that 2-parter, oh my god, Daleks! That would have made me so surprised, because I wouldn't have been expecting it if you'd just shown anything but the Daleks. By showing the Daleks, you're just saying, oh, there are Daleks, yeah, we don't really care, we don't want to surprise you anymore or anything. Now, I have to admit the episode was quite good, but I still didn't like the fact that they just gave away the Daleks, and then they tried to make it seem like it was a suspenseful, thrilling sort of conclusion to the first part when they revealed the Daleks, when we knew they were going to be Daleks, because we were shown in the trailer for the episode, which is really annoying. Step 4. You haven't made any big enemies that you've used more than once or twice. Now, you've been using a lot of old enemies, but you haven't made any enemies that really stuck, that were used repeatedly. Like, there was lots of potential for some of the enemies that you've put in, but you just didn't use them, like the Sylvine. They've appeared more than any other enemies, but they could have definitely appeared more. They could have had more of a presence. And because of this, it kind of feels like you're just not really trying hard to create enemies that really stick. You're just throwing one enemy after another at us, which is annoying. Because I don't want to have one enemy thrown at me at a time. I want to associate myself with one enemy being there, like the Daleks and Cybermen. Now, I want to feel like that again. I want to feel like, yay, the Daleks are back, or yay, the Cybermen are back, or one of the new enemies are back, but it doesn't happen. Oh, step 5. Now we've reached the part where I get really angry. The friggin' Time War. This was the stupidest continuality idea anyone has ever had. I mean, it's worse than in the now ongoing Ultimate Marvel comic, Ultimatum, where they're killing all these characters off panel. They quite literally destroyed 2 races without even mentioning it not even showing it properly. And I was just like, Time War? Did that actually happen in any of the episodes? So it wiped the Time Lords out, which were like, they were cool, and it apparently wiped the Daleks out, but it didn't. And it felt really unfair that they apparently wiped Daleks up, but just brought them back. And they didn't bring the Time Lords back. Now, it's just the biggest continuality annoyance ever, because it's just like saying, oh, there are no Daleks or Time Lords anymore, yeah, we killed them, because we don't like you. And why? What was the point in just saying, saying one episode, oh yeah, the Time Lords and Daleks, they're gone. Time War. We're not going to make it like... I mean, I would have even accepted a TV movie about the Time War. That's how... Or a 2-part episode about the Time War. Anything now that would have, like, shown us the Time War. And they might have shown it. In fact, no, I know they didn't show it, because the last thing before the new 9th Doctor was the 8th Doctor movie where the Time Lords were still around. So obviously they didn't even think about showing the Time War, which I guess would have been pretty epic. I mean, they could have just showed the conclusion or anything, but no, they didn't. They just went, nah, let's not show the Time War. I think it's best if it goes unsaid that there was a war and it wiped out two of the biggest points of the whole of the Doctor Who universe. Yeah, I think you're right. Step 6. And this is a lesser point than Step 5. Step 5 was the point that really annoys me. But this one I thought to add in at the last minute. Of the old enemies you use the same ones over and over again. You used 4 of them. Daleks, Cybermen, the Master, and the Autons. I think that's the only 4 you've reused, but you could have used so many of the other... Oh, and the crab ones. But... no, because my family was talking through that particular episode, I didn't hear what their names were. But you could have used so many others. There were so many cool enemies, and you just like the Rani. She was a cool enemy. Why couldn't they use her again? Or I was gonna say the Sontarans, and I forgot they used them again. But even if they do use an old enemy again, they use it like once. Which, what's the point in that? So, just to say, Doctor Who could be vastly improved. But it's an okay show at the moment. But I'm just saying these 6 points could definitely improve the show more. Because it isn't that great at the moment. This is the Strange Ranter. If you enjoyed this HDG, you can rate it. Write a comment. I like comments. Or subscribe, or anything really. So, signing off. Bye bye.